Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Elyachar, the chief content producer and writer of jakestake.com. So if you're watching this video right now, please like and subscribe, please. I'm just so happy because the man on my right is one of my all-time favorite content creators and fitness entrepreneurs. He's also an alum of American Ninja Warrior. He's is a very good TED Talker as well. He has over 80,000 subscribers on YouTube, and his videos have been viewed over 15 million times on that platform. Please help me welcome Patrick Lyons.
Thank you for the welcome and the introduction. I appreciate it. I think you covered quite a few of the bases.
Thank you. You're so welcome, Patrick. So first of all, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to do this for me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
All right, let's get down to it. So when did you get interested in fitness, and how did that passion evolve into the desire of pursuing a career in the fitness industry?
So I got into fitness when I was a kid, like literally 9 years old. I saw the movie Batman Begins, and I know the date that I saw it because it was the day it was released, and I went back and looked it up. It was June 15th, 2005. And after seeing that movie, for whatever reason, little kid Patrick thought that he needed to become Batman. That was my aspiration. It genuinely is what I committed myself to doing. And a big part of that started with just doing push-ups. Because in the movie Batman Begins, there's this specific moment where Batman wakes up at 3 p.m. in the afternoon after a long night of crime, and he just drops to the floor and starts doing push-ups. And I thought that was just the coolest thing in the world. So I started doing the same thing. I started doing push-ups every single day. And I did that for years and years. I added in different push-up varieties. I looked up videos of an Army Master Fitness trainer named Ken Weichert who taught more push-up variations. I added in sit-ups, and I was just doing more and more push-ups and sit-ups every single day for 5-ish years. And I think a root of why I did that beyond just wanting to become Batman was that I had this insecurity in myself. I looked at myself in the mirror, and I didn't like what I saw. I was uncomfortable with the way I looked. I didn't like the way I felt. I felt weak, and I felt small, and it was just not the best mental state for a 9 or 10-year-old to be in, but that's where I was. That was reality for me. So you put those two things together. I work out for years and years, and then I start doing more varieties of exercise, more intense exercises, but it's all at home. And it isn't until maybe 15 or 16 years old that I gained some element of nutritional awareness, understanding how our bodies change and grow and get stronger based on what we're eating. Because for all those years that I was doing a million push-ups, I didn't really change anything about what I ate. And so I didn't get bigger. I just got better at doing push-ups and sit-ups. And so then once I started getting bigger, I got a little bit more confident in myself. I started liking the way that I looked and the way that I felt. And then once I got to college, I still felt skinny. I had gained maybe 15 to 20 pounds of muscle, but it's on the skinny frame that I had, that was still not something I was content with. But once I got to college, after an initial 6-month period of not working out at all because I felt overwhelmed by college, I started working out in the gym for the first time. And this was a complete game changer for me because it was the first time where I was branching out beyond just at-home workouts, body weight stuff. And it took me a while to get comfortable with the gym. It was an uncomfortable place. I felt intimidated. But once I got past that initial learning curve, it was I found a community. It was I found what it was that made all the difference for so many people in fitness. And that absolutely happened for me. And at 19 years old, freshman year of college, I got in the best shape of my life. I finally felt confident in myself. I didn't feel skinny and weak. And I looked at myself in the mirror. I was happy with who I was. I was confident in the way I carried myself. And it had this complete transformation in my life. So substantially so that it made me want to help others do the same. It was if I experienced this transformation in my own life, and it has impacted so many areas of my life, if I can help others achieve that same thing, there's just nothing better in the world. And that is what led me to have a career in fitness.
Awesome. And you brought up Batman, one of my all-time favorite superheroes. So you're talking to a super duper Batman fan since 9. So
There you go.
Good choice on superheroes.
Thank you.
All right. So let's talk about the Lyon Shred community, because that's the community you founded. And what is the origin story behind that?
Yeah. So basically, if you fast forward a couple years from the story I just told, I was working out in the gym, primarily doing other people's fitness programs, but I realized that they weren't necessarily optimized by the current science in the field of fitness. So I started doing a lot of research about okay, what are the most optimal training techniques and protocols to make the most optimal progress in the gym. So what that led to is that I was creating my own fitness programs that were getting me far better results than anyone else has ever had. And as I'm doing this, I'm realizing there are probably so many people like me who are just, kind of relying on existing programs from other whatever companies, and they're just following them because we don't know any better. I didn't know any better. But if I was seeing the most substantial progress from actually implementing the science, then I bet others could do the same and could benefit from this. So all the while that, that journey is going on, even though I was doing other people's fitness programs, I was sharing my journey online. I was sharing pictures of myself. I was sharing videos documenting, what gains in strength or technique or size or aesthetics, whatever that I was making. And so people knew for years that I was into this whole fitness thing. And so I became a source of information, knowledge, and help for people before I ever launched my own company. And so I had wanted to launch my own program for years and years, but I didn't know that I had the platform or the knowledge or the confidence to do so. But what was kind of the pivotal thing for me was that I got accepted onto American Ninja Warrior. And I can tell that full story later, but the point of it is that after I finished Ninja Warrior, it was like I empowered myself to finally believe that, what? If I was on American Ninja Warrior, if I got in the best shape of my life for this show, there's no reason why I can't launch a program to help others do the same thing. So that's exactly what I did. I went from kind of loosely advertising my services as hey guys, if you want workout programs and meal plans, hit me up, to I am launching the Lyon Shred custom fitness program. It's a fully customized 90-day workout program and meal plan tailored to you and your individual goals. Whatever your goals are, gaining muscle, cutting fat, gaining strength, transforming your body, building your confidence in yourself, whatever your goals are, I can tailor a program to you. And that hit so much better than the previously generic, virtually brandless marketing that I was doing. Mm-hmm. And so that's what led to the creation of the Lyon Shred. And it wasn't for probably 3 or 4 months later that I actually launched the community. So it was kind of I was working one-on-one with clients and they only had a relationship with me as their coach. And I just kept thinking man, I am working with so many people now. I think by the time I was 3 or 4 months in, I was working with maybe 40 or 50 clients. It was
That's
why
incredible.
not? Yeah, no, it was awesome. It was such a blessing that people really did have a need for what I was offering. So it was I have to create a community around this. I want to bring these people together so that they realize they're not alone in this. And so what happened is the formation of this beautiful group of people from all over the world, all working toward their fitness goals, even if they were completely different goals. One person starting out like me, 139 pounds, male, wanting to gain weight, or, someone who needs to lose 100 pounds, whatever situation we all found ourselves in starting out, we all shared this goal of wanting to improve ourselves, to better ourselves, to get healthier, stronger. And in this community now, we're sharing our struggles, our successes, our highs, our lows, and people love it. It's they never feel alone, and they always know they have that community and me to offer them accountability, support, motivation, whatever they need. And that's been a huge part of my brand now.
And I'm impressed because the thing is, in that amount of time, that's incredible clients. And I bet and especially with the community, because I originally came from a CrossFit community back in my hometown of Kansas City. I got to shout them out, Kansas City Athletic Club. And I've spent 5 years with them, 4 years with them. and before I moved to New York City, and I haven't found that kind of community. And I gotta say, having that community is so important when it comes to the fitness journey.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. And it's grown so much since then. Like when I was just talking about it, that was just in the first 3 or 4 months. I've been doing this for 2.5 years now. And in that time, I've worked with over 500 clients across 15 countries on 6 continents. Not all of them use Facebook, but there's about 400 of them in the community now. So it's amazing. I love that place.
Awesome. So remember that American Ninja Warrior story you were going to promise us?
Yeah.
Oh, let's hear it, because in 2008, you had the opportunity to compete on the show. And can you describe that experience to my audience, and have you thought about competing for future seasons?
Yeah. So 2018 was the year I competed. So let's not fast forward. Rewind a couple of years, and that'll put it into more context. So when I was going through this whole journey of sharing my own fitness journey and sharing pictures and videos and updates about my own fitness and everything I was doing, one day I posted a video doing 10 muscle ups in a row. And if you or your viewers are not familiar, a muscle up is basically like a pull-up where you then end up with your body on top of the bar and you push yourself up. So it'd be like you get here and you push yourself all the way up. So you're now over the bar. And this is a rather advanced calisthenic movement. And I posted a video doing 10 of them in a row. And that was like a huge accomplishment for me because I didn't know if I could ever do that. And I got a lot of like positive feedback from it. And one of the comments that I got was from my sister, who was like, Patrick, this is awesome. You should apply for American Ninja Warrior. And I was like, well, that'd be cool, but I have absolutely no idea how to do that. And then she just sent me a link to the application. I was like, oh, I guess it's as simple as that. And it was the kind of thing where, like, as a kid, I grew up watching Ninja Warrior on G4 and always thought it was just so cool seeing these people do these larger-than-life feats of strength and agility. But I didn't understand as a kid what it really took to do that. But now, years and years later, I'm doing 10 muscle-ups. I get it. Like, I know what it takes to make this happen. And so I hit up my friend who had coincidentally offered recently to help me with any video editing. And so he met up with me. His name is Andrew Cordova, and he helped me film and edit a full audition video. And then it was just a matter of like answering about 40 questions about my life. And I submitted it and just kind of put myself out into the Ninja Warrior world like that. I heard back a couple weeks later from the senior casting producer on the show, and he really liked my personality. He liked my story, but he said the problem was that I didn't have any footage of myself on a ninja course. And I was like, well, I didn't know there really was a way to do that. I thought you just had to be on the show to do that. And that's when I found out about the world of ninja gyms. That is a very real thing. I was in Austin, Texas at the time. There weren't any ninja gyms there. The closest one was in San Antonio. I didn't have a car, so I hit up a bunch of friends with cars, found one to go the very next weekend. And the very first time I ever did obstacles, I crushed it. And like I say that as not cocky as possible. Like I actually did well. And that was super, super fulfilling. It was like, holy crap, I have been training in a completely different way. And I'm still capable of doing these obstacles that I've never seen before or I've never done before. So I recorded that whole experience. I sent it off to the casting producer, and he got back to me and said, this is awesome. I will forward it on to the executive producers. The executive producers are the ones who make the final say about who makes it on the show. So I was basically as far along in the process as I could be without actually making it. And then like over a month went by and I didn't hear anything. So I called the casting producer who I had been in contact with and asked him if there was any update. And he said, unfortunately, if you haven't heard back yet, you probably didn't make it. But you can be a course tester. And so what that means is that I could go to the Real Ninja Warrior course that was going to be filmed on and test out the obstacles the day before or even the day of the filming of the show. So that's exactly what I did. It was filmed coincidentally in San Antonio that year, the same city that I had gone to test in, that I'd gone to try out obstacles in. And so I got to run some of the obstacles that day. And I did fairly well. Like I had footage. I recorded that whole experience too. I did one called the TikTok, which is nothing to do with the social media platform of today.
Oh yeah, I remember. I know the TikTok, and it's very hard to do that. Obstacle is probably one of the most dangerous obstacles on the field because it took out every major almost every major contender.
Yeah, I took out a bunch of people, and I did it on my first try, and that was like super fulfilling. Problem was that like I really hurt my back, and my back was hurt for like a month after that. But that's a different story.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. So I did that, and I did the salmon ladder. I did that successfully, and the one that I couldn't do was called like the flying ring, or I don't remember what it was called. I've tried. Oh, the sky hook. It was called the sky hook. Years later, I was able to do it just fine once I got to practice it. But do it on the first try. No one had ever seen it before. I hadn't seen it before, so I didn't know how to do it. Point is, though, I did fairly well. It was only my second time ever on obstacles, the first being the time where I tested some other stuff out in San Antonio. And that kind of lit a fire inside me. It was like, I want to do this. I'm going to make this happen. And that was 2017. This is the same year that I started my YouTube channel. And so we're now in like March of 2017. So up to that point, I'd been like making maybe 1 or 2 videos a month, the 1 to 3 videos a month. And I pretty much set myself from that day forward that I was going to do at least 1 YouTube video every single week. And that would allow me to practice my storytelling skills. Because to make it on Ninja Warrior is not just about having the strength. You also have to have the story, and you have to be able to tell that story through video in a way that will captivate audiences. So I took the feedback that I'd gotten from the casting producer. He basically said that if he had to predict, he doesn't know why I didn't make it, but if he had to predict, it's probably because my story wasn't strong enough. It's not that I didn't have a good story. It just wasn't something that was going to pull at the heartstrings of America. So I worked on refining my story over the next year. During that same time period, I landed my internship at Microsoft, and I pretty much said, I think that my story has to be around the fact that like I am a nerd, and I also want to do Ninja Warrior, and I have like that physical capability, but I also have like the smarts basically. And that's the story I told. And I also told one other piece of my story related to my knee, because another element of this whole thing is that back in October of 2015, I hurt my knee and I tore my patella tendon on my left knee, and there was like no blood flow to that area. And that meant that for the 2 years up to that point, I pretty much hadn't worked out my legs at all. So I'm going through like this intense fitness journey, but just for my upper body. And I wanted to show that like I could come back from that, and that I like started going to physical rehab to get stronger, but that also I wasn't letting that stop me from, training for Ninja Warrior. I put all of that into a story, Microsoft nerd, into fitness, overcoming a knee injury, and that was me. That was the story I told, the heart of a lion, that was ultimately selected to be on season 10 of American Ninja Warrior in 2018. So the casting producers liked the story, they picked me for it, and they gave me the call to let me know in early February of 2018. And that meant I had about 5 weeks from the moment I got the call to the moment that I got to compete on the show. And so like I was absolutely stoked. Like I jumped for joy pretty much when I got that call. It was from the same guy who I'd been talking to, the casting producer's name is Peter. And so it was like getting a call from Peter was like the best thing in the world, because he had been with me throughout this entire journey. Now he gives me the call. I made it on the show, and I have 5 weeks. So in those 5 weeks, that is genuinely when I got in the best shape of my life, the fastest I've ever done it. And this is where I implement all of the science behind fitness and nutrition that I knew up to that point. All the research that I had been doing paid off, because in those 5 weeks, I cut 10 pounds. I shredded down to like this very lean, chiseled physique. I loved the way I looked. I was stronger than I'd ever been before. And I went on the show, like I've said like 4 times, like in the best shape of my life. It felt amazing. And when I get to the show, it is simultaneously just incredibly cool and incredibly intimidating, because I am surrounded by all these other ninja contestants who are some of the best in the world, who have just crushed it season after season. And I know that I have to compete against them now. So that was the intimidation part, but it was also just so cool because this film set is like this larger than life thing. Obviously the course itself is massive. And then, you have cameras everywhere. You have these parts called hero shots where you get to stand on a rotating platform and they're like showing you in hero poses, flexing and stuff like that. And it makes you feel like a superhero. It was super freaking cool. And You don't get to run or practice or anything on the course before. You just get to see it and understand what the rules are behind each obstacle. And then the night of filming, I emphasize night because they film all night long. It starts around 10 p.m. and it goes till about 6 a.m.
And I actually just sorry to interrupt you, Patrick. I actually covered the Kansas City visit, to 2017 Kansas City visit, and
oh, wow.
I was in awe of seeing the set and then interviewing Lance Pincus, Cowboy Ninja, and then Canine Ninja himself, Uriori, and then my biggest prize came in the form of Drew Dreschel, real life ninja. Yeah. So it was great seeing some. After seeing them, I was like in awe. I got starstruck by both Drew and Lance.
Yeah.
And then
cool.
and then seeing Matt and Akbar as well. So it was like, and talking to them as well. I'm like, wow. So basically, I was in awe as well. And with that, and also with the ninja, and also, so have you thought about coming back for, like, I know that this current season's on pause because of the COVID-19. Have you thought about coming back and competing?
Yeah. So let me tell just a couple more pieces of the 2018 story, and that will hopefully help with the rest. So the night of filming, it's like 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. And for viewers who don't know, the reason why they film at the night is so that they can edit the footage in any order. Because during those hours, it's always pitch black. So no matter what order people run in, they can go back and, move people around and edit the footage in any order they want to tell a story. But that meant that I ran at 5 a.m. So I had been up all night long before I ever got to run the course. I was completely physically exhausted. But at the same time, when you get the notification like an hour before that, like, you're going in an hour, the adrenaline was through the roof. Like, I was more awake than I'd ever been in that final hour. Like, I'm warming up, I'm getting pumped up, I'm hanging from stuff to make sure my grip is not going to give out. And it was just like, I was so fired up. I knew that I'd done everything that I could to prepare for that moment. And like, then as I am walking up toward the platform, final person that I talked to is someone called a story producer, and they're the one who makes sure that, like, all the stories that they've planned out are going to happen in the way that they want. So she looks at my shirt, which has like my logo and part of a lion, and she was like, "Lion, huh? Can you roar?" And I was like, yeah, I can. And she was like, "All right, I want you to go up there and I want you to roar." And so that's exactly what I do. That's the first thing that I do before I get started is, like, I do this roar thing that I have come up with, and that got the audience hyped up. And then it's like you hear like a 3, 2, 1, and that's basically go time. And it's like in the moments before that 3, 2, 1, it was one of the most larger than life moments of my life, because it's like I'm standing on this platform that I've been dreaming of standing on for multiple years now. There are lights and cameras everywhere. There's an audience of over 1,000 people to my left. There's like tons of water in front of me that, like, I'll fall in if I don't do good on these obstacles. And then it was like, as soon as 3, 2, 1 finished, it was like all of that went away, and I was completely honed in on the moment before me. And so obviously you have like the side-to-side steps the uneven steps, whatever you want to call it, at the beginning. Yeah. I did that just fine. I was super hyped up. So like, I'm like flexing and like looking at my friends in the audience. It's just so cool. Like that, friends that I had trained with or had been supporting me, or my family, they're all, over there cheering me on. Then the second obstacle, it's basically like these 2 bars that are like running perpendicular to your body. So I like jump up onto one, and then I'm like moving my hands along it. And it was like in that moment, despite having prepared so much for that moment, I doubted myself. It was like the next bar was only 3 feet in front of me. It was like I'm hanging here and I need to jump to another bar that's probably about 3 feet ahead. But it felt like 6 in that moment. It felt twice as far away, and that meant that I doubted whether I could make it at all. And when I went back and watched the footage, it was literally like I could have just reached another arm out and stayed on this bar and reached it. Like, that's how close it was. But that doubt is what kind of crushed me. I was only on the course for about 66 seconds. Definitely could have done better. I was physically capable of doing the entire course, but because of that one moment of doubt, that's what got me. But it was still like the most fulfilling thing I'd ever done. It was like the fact that I put in the work to get to that moment and I made it happen for myself was just so incredibly rewarding. And then to have family and friends alongside me was just an added bonus. And then to meet all of these other incredible and inspiring ninjas from all over the world was another bonus. The point of all that is the ninja community and the ninja sport is one of the coolest things I've ever become a part of. And I pretty much set my mind in that moment to make it back on the course and to hit a buzzer. And so I spent the next, 9 months getting in the best shape of my life again, but specifically honing in my Ninja Warrior skills. Because previously I had pretty much focused on physique and then focused on ninja stuff at the end. And that wasn't the right way to do it. I needed to do both of them. So I tried again in season 11, which was 2019. And I was in so much better ninja shape. I was so much better as a ninja. I thought my audition video was better, but for whatever reason, I didn't get picked that year. And then, as you mentioned, this year in season 12, it's been put on pause because of coronavirus. They are restarting it back up, but it's only going to be in one city with far fewer competitors, and those have already been chosen. So I will not be on it this year, but crossing my fingers, season 13. The unlucky season 13 will be my lucky.
Absolutely. And here's the other thing as well. Other ninjas have done well off of Ninja Warrior and jumped onto other shows. For example, Fessy Shava was on Big Brother and just finished being in the final of Challenge Total Madness. And then Natalie Ninja Duran also was on 2 seasons of the challenge and made to the finals twice. And in addition to that, we are seeing Jesse Graff kick butt on a Titan Games as well. So have you thought about, if I can't do on American Ninja Warrior Unlucky 13, have you thought about the challenge or the Titan Games?
Yeah, so originally I was under the impression that you literally couldn't do any other shows, but now that other ninjas are, it's clear that like the Ninja Warrior producers are okay with it. So I will absolutely try for other shows. Like I think the Titan Games is such a cool concept because it implements so much more about strength, and that's been like a focus of my training over the last like year and a half. Not to mention like the last 5 years of just general resistance training. So I think that the Titan Games could be a really, really cool thing. I would love to try my hand at other shows, so we'll see what comes up.
All righty. So last year you participated at the TED UT Austin with the theme Calm Man or Confidence Man. And it was a really good presentation and good talk. And what did that mean to have that opportunity? And what was the feedback that you received? Yeah.
So the TEDx talk that I gave was also, I would say, among like the top 2 most fulfilling things I've done, Ninja Warrior being the other one. And the reason I say that is because I first started watching TED Talks when I was either a sophomore in high school. And I gave this TED Talk right after my senior year of college. So it was about 6.5 years in the making getting to that moment. And before ever giving the TED Talk, I had actually already tried, I think it was 3 other times. Yeah. So that was my 4th attempt at getting a TED Talk is the one I actually got. So it was clear like this was something that I wanted for a long time before it actually happened. And the speech was the exact speech that I wanted to give because it allowed me to talk about like a multitude of passions in my life, because that is something that I feel has always separated me from others, is that I don't just have a passion for fitness or Ninja Warrior. It's fitness, it's Ninja Warrior, it's public speaking, it's health, it's wellness, it's sharing content, creating content, collaborating with others. Like it goes beyond just one thing. And it was almost like the indecisiveness or the multitude of passions made me feel like, well, shoot, I don't know what one thing I can talk about. So I found a topic that allowed me to share it all. And so the idea of con man versus confidence man, I won't give the whole speech, but just to give some context to viewers, is that you can intentionally shape who you are based off of the things you choose to do and thus the stories you choose to tell. And so in the speech, I talk about how over the last 5 years prior to giving that speech, I had tried over 100 different things. I think the number at the time was 111 or something like that. And when I say try different things, I'm referring to things where you put yourself out there and you get a definite yes or no answer. And so Ninja Warrior was an example. It was previously a no. That was one attempt. And then it became a yes. That was another attempt. So it was 2 things I tried, 1 yes, 1 no. Over the course of those 5 years, though, I tried 111 different things, and I got 60 plus no's and 50 yeses. But I guarantee that a lot of those yeses never would have occurred if it wasn't for the accumulation of no's that I got. And so what that meant to me was again, the idea that I had put in the intentional effort and work to get to that moment, to make that a reality for myself. And I practiced the speech probably 20 times before ever getting up on that stage. And so I delivered flawlessly. And again, I don't mean that in a cocky way. I mean that I put in the work. And when you put in the work, you can deliver flawlessly. And it was like I hit every single point I wanted to make in the exact way that I wanted to. One just like public speaking tidbit that I give people is that if you practice a speech just like a couple of times, you can get to a point of memorization. But until you have memorization second nature, you can't perfect the way that you say words. And so once I got past maybe the first 10 go through, then it's just like it's second nature. The words are just going to flow out. And so then I can start thinking about the meaning behind every word, every sentence, how I want to tell the story. Do I want my tone to be friendly or stern or serious or informative? And then I can vary things like tempos. I have these parts of the speech that I call like speed runs or speed sections where I will say like 100 words in a couple seconds. And it's just like, it's an impressive thing to hear, whether from yourself or someone else, because it means that they are so well prepared that they can spout out the words as fast as they want, kind of like a rapper. So overall, it was awesome. And I would love to give another speech. And I definitely hope that's my TED Talk experience.
Awesome. And I know I have a feeling that you are going to be giving some in the future.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. So let's talk about your YouTube channel. So basically, I've looked through this and I love what you have done and your evolution of it, Patrick. And like you dressed up as Batman and Spider-Man playing pranks involving you in an inflatable T-Rex costume. But now you focus on fitness issues. So what were some of the sparks that behind that transition to change your type of content? Yeah,
so I guess one thing to note is that I haven't intentionally, or I kind of have intentionally put the other stuff in the back burner, but it's not a permanent change. It's more so like a variety of content will be on my channel. So for context, I was able to build my channel initially through prank videos, essentially. Like that's what would go the most viral. I would do a Batman class prank or a T-Rex class prank or running through the library. And those did really well because they're entertaining to watch. And that was very intentional. My bio, I guess you call it, on YouTube, like my About Me section, has been the same since like the very first day that I made my YouTube channel. It's something on the lines of I've transformed my body over the last X number of years from skinny to confidently fit. I'm now using what I've learned and who I am to entertain, educate, and inspire. And regardless of the specific wording, it's those last three things: entertain, educate, and inspire. My goal was to start with entertainment because I feel that everyone wants to be entertained. Not everyone is ready to be, educated or inspired around fitness, but everyone wants to like watch something and laugh or smile or feel entertained. So I started with that, and that's where all the pranks came from. And then I made sure to like weave in undertones of fitness. So it's like, even if I'm doing a video as Batman or T-Rex, I do push-ups in those costumes, because then it's like you're seeing this funny situation and you're seeing fitness. And so that was kind of like an undertone throughout the beginning and current of my fitness journey, of my YouTube journey. And the kind of a reason for that is that I ultimately wanted to funnel my viewers over to my Instagram, where it was much more directly fitness and business and, things about the Lyon Shred. And so I kind of started thinking, well, what if I just directly marketed fitness content to my viewers? Would that, increase the number of clients that I could take on, or the amount of interest I would get, that sort of thing. And so that's the approach that I took. And now the thing is that my videos that are just about fitness do not tend to get as many views, but I'm okay with that because it's like now I'm directly talking to the people who are going to be the most interested in my program and my services and fitness, that sort of thing. But I will 100% continue doing prank videos. The issue is that because of coronavirus, I just really can't. So until that goes away, it'll be mainly fitness and fitness issues.
All right. So speaking of fitness, one of the people that I notice that you team up with a lot is Connor Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say this in public because and on the record, I want to say thank you, because a lot of the fitness industry and YouTube influencers fans know about what's been going on with Connor since the past couple months.
Yeah.
And you have been a really good, reassuring voice and a strong friend for Connor, Patrick.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of fans, I need to say that on the record.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So basically, I think this whole thing has strengthened your friendship with Connor, and you actually went to Texas to talk with Connor to visit him during the final rounds of his fast. So was it difficult to walk the line between friend and content creator?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was. I addressed this in a recent video that basically Connor and I's friendship has been based around content creation. So it was the kind of thing where it made the most sense to be the most comfortable talking to him through a video. And so that's exactly what we did when we met up in person. It's the kind of thing where I was almost intentionally using that content creation opportunity as a way to reach him more directly, just because Connor and I both love creating content. Connor is in the habit of creating content even during the fast. And so I felt that I could reach him the best if I focused our interaction around a video. And I just made sure to intentionally plan out like the questions that I was going to ask, the conversations we were going to have, to make sure that he was safely thinking about things. Because when you fast for such a long time, the most dangerous thing is what happens when the fast ends, because when you reintroduce food, you could literally die if you don't do it right. And so I made sure that he was aware of that, and he is, and he had a plan. And yesterday he ate food for the first time, and he's still doing good today. So I think he's in a good spot. Hopefully get better.
If Connor's watching this, I've prayed for you. And I would love to sit down with you, and please keep it up. And Patrick, please, and I know you will be informing us through Instagram and Twitter and what's been going on if anything happens with Connor. So thank you. I have to do that. So thank you so much for doing that.
For sure.
All right. This is the fourth to last question. So who are your dream collaborators that you would like to work with on future videos, and how would they incorporate into your platform, into your business?
Yeah, so my dream collaborators now are mainly in the areas of fitness science, because that's like a huge thing that I have implemented. Like you notice in my story early on with like the Lyon Shred development, it was all about researching the most optimal ways to train and implement nutrition in my diet to get the best results possible. And I've only taken that to the next level over the last several years. And that has led to the creation of what is called the Online Coach Academy. And the Online Coach Academy is my newest offering, which is a full academy and certification that houses content from literally thousands of scientific studies in a way that is easily implementable in your life. And once you complete the academy coursework and pass the assessments, you can become an OCA certified online fitness coach. It's genuinely the biggest project that I have ever worked on. I put time into it every single day for the last 18 months now. Like, it is no joke, the biggest thing I've ever worked on, and probably the biggest thing I ever will work on. I mean, depending on what I end up creating in the future. But the point of that is, like, fitness science has been on my mind every single day for a very long time now. So the collaborators I'd like to work with are basically people like Jeff Nippard, Jeremy Ethier, and the doctoral people, like PhDs in the areas of fitness science. I just think that they're doing a heck of a lot of good for the world. And they're spreading fitness science in a way that is easily digestible and incredibly powerful. So I'd love to network with them.
All righty. So what are your favorite social media platforms? Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and why do they stand out?
Yeah, so I'd say YouTube is probably my favorite platform for entertainment, both for consumption and creation, just because I like long-form content. I like to digest like a real story or a real prank or a real fitness science video, whatever the case. And then I think that I have the ability to talk in a way that is impactful to people in long form as well. Instagram is my second favorite. I make content on there every single day. I've made a post every single day for over 600 days now, I think. Maybe 500. I don't know how many days. Yeah, it's almost 600 days in a row that I made a post every single day. And I just love like the way to use graphic imagery to tell stories alongside captions. And then Facebook is pretty much just a regurgitation of Instagram for me. Like I post everything that I post on Instagram onto my Facebook. And then I also do Facebook Live videos on Facebook. And I like those, but I think I like Instagram and YouTube more. TikTok is incredibly powerful, but I just haven't gotten on board with it. Like it's still a strange one to me. And I really don't use Twitter almost at all.
All righty. So if you have, this is the second to last question. So if you had the opportunity to meet with someone or with fans who are struggling with their fitness journeys, what advice would you share with them?
So the number one thing I would tell them is to keep it simple. And what I mean by that is really just to focus on the few main things that matter the most. One thing that concerns me is like I will have clients often come to me asking if X product will help them. And the products are typically things like fat burners, and fat burners are completely not backed by science. Like thermogenics are what fat burners are. They're things that allegedly help you burn more calories or burn more fat. And those have just been never verified by science, as in they've actually been debunked by science. They don't help. So the things that do matter are your nutrition, like the specific number of calories that you're consuming on a daily basis, your general activity levels. So like whether you're going for walks daily, whether you're working out frequently throughout the week, and then something like the amount of sleep that you are getting per night. If you can focus on those three things and hone them in to where you're in line with where you should be, those will literally get you like 90+% of the results that you're going to get. So if you're not intentionally eating whole foods, like, lean proteins and plants and vegetables and fruits and beans, like if you're not doing those things, you're selling yourself short. And then if you're not exercising frequently, I recommend doing that. Like I go for a walk every single day, especially in quarantine. I find myself sitting in this chair for so many hours a day. So I go for a walk every single day. And then I personally work out 5 days a week through my program, the Lyon Shred at home. And then I sleep 7 to 8 hours a night. That has been shown to allow you to build and retain more muscle as well as burn more fat. So if you aren't sleeping more than you are, or if you're sleeping less than that, you should sleep more.
Awesome. So where can my audience reach you?
So they can reach me the most directly and quickly on my Instagram at Patrick Lyons. I respond to my DMs every single day. And you can ask me any questions if you're interested in my programs. I can give you all the information on that. And then I also respond to all my YouTube comments. It's just not as personal of an interaction since it's a public comment.
All righty, guys. Now, to download more episodes of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar Podcast, head over to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Spreaker. Past interviews have included the Anabolic Aliens co-founder, Mike Rosa, and several members of the America's Got Talent family, including Vicky Barbalak and Andrew Lynch, and also from The Challenge, Bailey and Swaggy, Joss Mooney, and Paulie Calafiore. So go ahead and get and download those episodes today. Now, if you want to connect with me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, it's all under Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR. Once again, JACOBELYACHAR. And finally, if you want to read my original story of how I went on to the American Ninja Warrior set in 2017 in my hometown of Kansas City, plus my interviews with several other ninjas, including Joe Morosky and the Wolfpack Ninjas, head over to jakestake.com. Once again, jakes-take.com. Patrick, you have been incredible, my friend. It's such a privilege to finally have an opportunity to talk with you.
Thank you so much. I was happy to talk with you, and I'm glad I got to share the things that I did. Thanks for asking all the questions.
You're so welcome, guys, and have a fantastic day. We will see you later. Bye.